As the movie opens, we see a small house tucked away in the forest. Inside, a young girl is busy making dinner while reading the instructions for a sauce she's trying to prepare. After tasting it, she finds it terrible. Her name is Maddie, and it's revealed that she is both deaf and mute. She gets a message from her neighbor asking if she can come by, and Maddie agrees. She connects her laptop to the charger and continues chatting with her neighbor through her phone. Afterward, she calls her cat inside for dinner and feeds it. Her neighbor Sarah is seen walking toward the house, and Maddie steps out to welcome her. Sarah excitedly tells her that she has read her book and begins signing to her since Maddie is deaf. Although Maddie can read lips, Sarah wants to practice her sign language skills with her. Maddie asks what she thought about the book, and Sarah responds that she really enjoyed it. She even tried guessing the ending but got it totally wrong. As they continue talking, Maddie shares that she struggles to silence the voices in her mind. Suddenly, the fire alarm starts blaring from inside. They rush in and Maddie takes down the alarm while Sarah removes the lamp from the oven. Meanwhile, Maddie's cat slips out. Sarah comments on how loud the alarm is, but Maddie explains it has to be that loud so that she can feel the vibration while sleeping. Later, they sit on the porch chatting about her cat. Maddie reassures Sarah not to worry, saying the cat is very independent. Sarah invites her over to order food since her meal was ruined, but Maddie declines, saying she has work to do. Before Sarah heads out, she practices the new sign language phrases she just learned. After she leaves, Maddie receives a message from Creak saying he's thinking about her, but she deletes it. That night, Maddie eats while working on her new book. She plays around with different endings but struggles to choose the right one. Hitting a block, she decides to FaceTime Craig. However, she cancels the calls before it connects. He tries calling her back, but Maddie ignores both her laptop and phone. Maddie goes to clean up the kitchen mess left from cooking earlier. Out of nowhere, Sarah starts frantically banging on her door. She desperately hopes Maddie will notice her, but then she is hit by an arrow and the man kills her right outside Maddie's window. Maddie remains unaware of what just happened. The killer watches her through the glass and knocks, testing if she can hear anything. Realizing she can't, he quietly drags Sarah's body away. Meanwhile, Craig keeps calling Maddie, but she continues to ignore him. She sits down again to work on her writing, but it doesn't go any better than before. At the same time, the killer enters her home and approaches her silently. Maddie, still completely unaware, chuckles to herself about being stuck in her story. Suddenly, her sister FaceTimes her, prompting the killer to retreat from the camera's view. They briefly chat about her book. Maddie also brings up Craig. Her sister encourages her to start dating again, but Maddie is not interested. Her sister then suggests Maddie that she should move back to the city and stop isolating herself. Meanwhile, the killer grabs Maddie's phone from the counter and her sister sees it move through the camera. Maddie brushes it off, saying it's probably her cat and that she should go check on her. After hanging up, Maddie tries calling her cat by making noise with her food bowl, but the cat doesn't respond, so she continues searching throughout the house. She even checks upstairs, but there's no sign of it. She opens the door and calls again, but when the cat doesn't come, she leaves it open and returns to writing. Suddenly, a message arrives on her computer. It's from her own phone. The picture shows her searching for the cat, and one even captures the moment she sees the images on her screen. Terrified, Maddie carefully walks toward the door. Outside, she spots the killer standing there. He holds up her phone, and she immediately rushes to shut the door just in time. The killer tries every entry point around the house. When he realizes he can't get in that way, he moves to the other side and nearly manages to break in. Maddie tries to call 911 using her computer, but the killer cuts the power. She attempts to connect to Sarah's Wi-Fi network but doesn't know the password. The man tries to taunt her for a moment before walking away. She heads to the door and sees him slashing the tires of her car before disappearing into the woods. Maddie writes a message on the glass saying her boyfriend is on the way, then shines a flashlight on it to make it visible. The killer reads it and removes his mask. He asks if she can read lips and she nods yes. He tells her that he knows she's alone and that no one is coming to help. Then he says he can enter the house anytime, but he'll only come for her when she is ready to die. Maddie nods to show she understands. She heads to the kitchen to grab a knife and a hammer, then she moves to the living room to check the area. After that, she goes to her bedroom, blocks the door with furniture, and closes all the curtains. Maddie peeks through the window but doesn't see him. Suddenly, she notices a shadow outside. He starts knocking, and she sees it through the shadows on the ground. When she checks, she realizes he's knocking on the window using Sarah's body. Shocked, Maddie drops her weapons and runs back to the living room, overwhelmed with tears. Then she suddenly remembers Sarah had put her phone in her back pocket earlier. Maddie grabs her car keys and tries to trigger the alarm, but can't do it through the window, so she opens the door and quickly sets it off. The killer hears it and she watches him head toward the car. She rushes to her room and searches Sarah's pockets for her phone, but the man returns. Maddie pulls herself back inside and slams the window shut on his fingers. Without hesitation, she grabs her knife and stabs him. The man, now bleeding, tears off a piece of Sarah's shirt and wraps it around his injured arm. Realizing Maddie had been searching for Sarah's phone, he holds it up to show her he has it, then places it on her body. Maddie returns to the living room, where he tries to pry the window open again. Moments later, she spots him moving around outside and quickly hides. He peers through the glass door but doesn't see her. Still, he manages to figure out her hiding spot. When she sees him nearby, she hides under the porch. He walks right past her, and she feels the wooden floor vibrate under his footsteps. The man circles the house once more, trying to lure her out. As she bolts from her hiding place, he fires at her with the crossbow multiple times but keeps missing. She makes it back inside and locks the door securely. Maddie heads upstairs and watches his movements from a window. When she notices he's at the front door, she quietly opens a window and climbs out onto the back of the house, taking care not to make any noise. Seeing that he's still at the front, she tosses her lit flashlight into the woods to divert his attention. As he heads towards the light, she climbs down from the roof, but just as she does, he appears and shoots her. He fires again, hitting her, then climbs up to confirm if she's down. Maddie quickly pulls the arrow from her leg, and as he reaches the rooftop, she shoves him off and grabs his crossbow. Not knowing how to reload it, she fumbles for a moment, which gives him time to come after her. She hurries back into the house, closing the window just before he gets there. Maddie then points the crossbow at him, forcing him to back away. She retreats to the bathroom to tend her injury. Pouring alcohol on the wound, she then wraps her leg to stop the bleeding. While sitting there, crying and overwhelmed, Maddie examines the crossbow and notices markings on it. She tries to load the crossbow but struggles to get the string locked into place. She gives it another shot, but this time the killer sees her through the bathroom window. Suddenly, someone knocks at the front door. It's another man looking for Sarah. Maddie doesn't hear him, but the killer does. The visitor turns out to be Sarah's boyfriend, John. John notices the message written on the door and decides to call the police. Just then, the killer shows up, pretending to be a cop. He tells John to drop the phone. John responds that it's not a weapon and insists he's not trying to cause any trouble. The killer demands that he kneel and show some ID. John says his ID is in his wallet and offers to put the phone down to grab it. He pulls out his wallet and the killer snatches it from him. After glancing at his ID, the man asks if he lives nearby. John nods and the killer apologizes for scaring him. He lies, saying he responded to a call and found things in disarray. He claims someone ran past him while he was checking the house, hit him, and stole both his gun and radio. He says he needs to contact the sheriff. John starts to feel suspicious, but the man tells him he's a deputy and just recently started the job. The killer asks to use John's phone, and John hands it over. He fakes a call to the station but then keeps the phone, slipping it into his pocket. They start talking about Maddie, and John mentions that she tends to stay to herself. When he notices blood on the man's arm, he asks about it. The killer lies again, saying the attacker who jumped him caused it. John asks for his phone back, and as the man returns it, one of Sarah's earrings falls out of his pocket. John spots it and recognizes it instantly. He begins questioning the man, trying to catch him in a lie, but the killer avoids answering directly. Meanwhile, Maddie is still struggling to load the crossbow without success. John continues his conversation, now fully convinced that the man is not a real police officer. John tells the man that Maddie keeps a spare key hidden in a planter at the bottom of the stairs. As the man heads down to check, John casually picks up a rock and starts moving towards him, keeping the conversation going to avoid suspicion. Just as he's about to strike him from behind, Maddie suddenly bangs on the window. Distracted, the killer turns and stabs John. Even then, John lunges at him, but the man dodges him until John collapses to the ground. Maddie watches the entire scene unfold, and the man sarcastically thanks her for showing up at the perfect moment. As he leans over John, John grabs him in a tight hold and yells for Maddie to run. She rushes out through the back door, but the man chases her down and strikes her head with the rock, killing her. But that's only one possible outcome playing in Maddie's mind, her imagining what would happen if she tries to escape. Her inner voice tells her she can't run. In reality, she's still inside. Meanwhile, John dies before he can finish the killer. Maddie mentally cycles through various options and possible endings. She considers shooting him or going out to restore the power. She also thinks about hiding places, the bathroom and the loft. Yet no matter what she does, if he doesn't find her, she might still bleed out. Even hiding outside in the crawl space is not safe, since he's already seen her use that spot before, and she is quickly losing strength, feeling dizzy, cold, and her vision is fading. Her inner voice tells her that no matter what, he holds the upper hand. She can't hide, can't run, and time's running out. Then Maddie comes to a sharp realization. The only way out is to kill him. Meanwhile, the killer searches John's pockets and finds a pack of cigarettes. He heads over to Maddie's car and retrieves a wrench. Sitting on the hood, he lights a cigarette and decides to wait a bit longer before going inside, giving her time to lose more blood. Just then, Maddie's cat shows up. He kneels down, ready to kill it, when Maddie hits him with a crossbow bolt. She rushes back into the house, and he chases after her, catching her hand in the door and crushing it. After releasing her hand, she manages to lock the door. He breaks the arrow off and tells her he's coming in. Maddie gets to her feet and using her own blood, she writes, "Do it, coward," on the glass door. He heads to her car to grab the wrench, while Maddie types out his description in an open document on her laptop. As he starts smashing the glass, she also writes a farewell message to her mom and dad. Maddie hides in the bathroom, waiting. She is barely conscious and doesn't hear him coming through the window behind her. He exhales and she feels his breath on her neck. She turns quickly, dodging his knife, and stabs him. She bolts from the bathroom and makes it to the kitchen, collapsing on the floor. As he limps towards her, about to strike, she sprays wasp repellent in his face. Blinded and stunned, he drops the knife. Maddie grabs it, but he tackles her and they struggle violently. He nearly finishes her off until she reaches a wine opener and stabs him with it, killing him. Now gaining strength, Maddie takes her phone from his pocket. She dials 911 and passes out. Later, she slowly walks outside and sits on the porch. Her cat returns and curls up beside her. Soon after, the police arrive. Maddie notices them and smiles faintly, and that's where the movie ends. Hope you enjoyed the movie recap. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.